Over the past few years, I've been incredibly lucky to do very well on Amazon, launching into new products, new markets, dominating them. But obviously after some initial success, as you could probably expect, there are a lot of copycat sellers that start to flood the markets. They'll try to copy your product, your offer, literally do anything they can to steal your sales. And the truth is, if you're a successful seller, it's a matter of when, not if, the copycat sellers will come. But in this video, I'll show you how to combat them. These are the exact same things I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years on Amazon. I'll share with you the 3-step process to beat them. Hey, what's up everyone, Yaniv here, and let's go over the 3 things that you can do to beat the copycat sellers. And before we do dive into that, right, I wanna make sure that you have a perfect listing. Now this means that you have a well-differentiated product, you have a good copy, and also good images on your products. You have a good quality product in itself, which a lot of people overlook, have great PPC and amazing SEO, and you offer value other people are not. Now, I'm sure you've heard this all before, so we'll go on from there and assume that you already have that set up. And if you can't look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I do have the perfect listing, well then you definitely need to go back and fix it before moving on with this video.
Look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself,
do I have an optimized listing?
And if you don't know what to do, or you have a little doubt that your listing isn't perfect, I'll leave links down below to all sorts of different listing optimization videos that I've put out here on the channel. Go ahead and check those out. All right, so now let's assume you check those out or you have already the perfect listing. Let's move on. After about 5 years of selling on Amazon, I've realized the key to winning on Amazon and beating the competition is being able to adapt fast. So to explain this, let's say, for example, you have a product, it's doing very well, someone comes into your market and differentiates even better than you. So, they copy you or they differentiate. Either way, now they have a better product or offer than you do. So what do you do in that situation? And I know, because I've worked with hundreds of students, especially a lot of beginner students, that if someone comes in and they differentiate and they're providing a better product or offer than you, a lot of the times people just give up. And that's the complete wrong thing to do, obviously. That's also the same reason why people can't hold the top spots on Amazon in the rankings for a very long period of time. And the only ones that really do are the ones who know what they're doing. So here's one of the 3 things we'll talk about today, which is that you can change your listing or offer even while you're selling the product. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think you cannot touch your listing if you have inventory in. And you can't change it because the listing was built with this specific product. You'd have to make a whole new listing. But you can actually change it. And the truth is, it is tough, and there are some loopholes you need to jump through. What you can do as a top seller in the space is notice when people like that come into the market and realize that if you don't do something or change something in your product or offer, you will lose in the long term. Maybe not in the next month or 3 or 6, but in 1 or 2 years, you will be dethroned. What you do is you sell out of your existing inventory, and your next batch of inventory either comes in with the same bundle or differentiation as the other person, or better, and get your pictures to reflect this, right? Go back, get better pictures, get other pictures that actually highlight the differentiations that you have. Now, if you're the top seller, then you probably also do have the most reviews. So when you do switch over to the differentiation or the new product bundle, you will have a lot more reviews, and that's how you stop the beginner sellers and the people coming into the markets from taking over. And like I said, that's exactly what the top sellers do. And let me show you an example, all right? Let's dive into the computer. Over here we have, let's say, somebody that is an old school seller. They've been here for a long, long time. And you can see they have 50,000 reviews, but they're selling kind of like the most basic yoga mat you can, find, right? It's Amazon Basics. It's like the most basic thing. But you start to see in your market, you start to see people come up, and people are coming out with differentiations. And as you can see here, we have a product that came out with some sort of differentiation. Let's assume this is, a new product that's coming into the space. And you can see, well, first off, it has everything the same, but it has these kind of like alignment points and these grip points, and it's kind of double-sided, has different textures and stuff like that. And you start to see this person with only 400 reviews is starting to pick up to 58,000 per month in sales, and you start to realize, if I don't do anything about this in the long term, they're going to take over. In this case, this person has 50,000 reviews, so that's not really the best example, but I'm trying to explain to you that what you can do is sell out of the inventory you already have here, and then next inventory batch you come in, have the same product with the alignment lines. For example, if that's what you realize is a really good differentiation. And believe it or not, every company does this. Like, for example, Oura Ring. This is what it came out with at first. This was Oura Ring 1.0, and this is 2.0, and there's like a 3.0 now. And obviously there's a cycle of iteration. So you can't just expect the product that you launch on your first, day is going to be the same product you're going to have in 1 year or in 2 years or even in 6 months. Anytime you have an opportunity to improve your product, you should do it. And that's going to keep you ahead of the game. By the way, if you're interested in Aura, do not get Aura. Get the Whoop because Aura's customer service is the worst customer service I've ever experienced in my whole life. It's shocking. So Aura Ring, great product. I've had it before, but wow, that company really needs to get their shit together. So now let's move into the second thing you can do to beat these copycat sellers and dominate the markets, which is to recheck your SEO for your listing, check your keyword volumes and all that stuff. Because if you created your listing 6 months ago or a year ago, well, the keyword search volumes change from a month-to-month basis. So after 3 to 6 months, well, you probably have different order of keywords that don't matter as much anymore, right? Or maybe you've already ranked on certain keywords that you can replace with other keywords that you can start ranking for as well. And even if the keywords are the same, well, how do you know there aren't new keywords popping up to describe your product? That's always a possibility as well. So always recheck every 3 to 6 months. And on top of that, another kind of like ninja hack, instead of just focusing on the main competitors, the one who make the most sales in the markets, look at the different competitors, the ones that are coming, the up and coming ones who might have a lower review volume, but have a disproportionately high sales, sales. Like for example, right, this one, for a product to only have 400 reviews and make $50,000 in a competitive space like this, well, it must be ranking for certain keywords that we should know about. And the way you do that is go to Cerebro, right? So if you don't know what this is, you probably do at this point. It's helium-10. If you don't have it, you need to pick this up. You need to have it for 2022, okay? And if you use the link in the description, I'll put a link there. It has 50% off or 50% off for 1 month or 10% off for a lifetime. Pick one, even if you just use it for 1 month. You need the software, you just need it. So go pick it up. If you don't want to use my link, just go to their website and do it that way. You won't get a discount that way, but just get it. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go and we're gonna grab our product. So let's assume this is our product. We're kind of the top of the sales, and we're trying to make sure we keep that top spot. We're gonna go and we're gonna take the ASIN. So take your ASIN from up here, come into the Cerebro. We're gonna put ours in first. Then you find the up and coming sellers. For example, someone like this, a little bit different, made a differentiation, pretty low search volume, but is crushing it, right? And then take their ASIN and drop that into the Cerebro as well. Then you press get keywords, and they did some sort of redesign here, so it's like messing with my mind, but essentially what you want to do is you go to show more, and one of the things that we're going to use here is actually the relative rank. I'm going to read what this says. So the rank of the main ASIN relative to its competitors. For example, if 2 competitors are ranked better than the main ASIN, the relative rank will be 3. Now the main ASIN is the one you put in first. You want to put your listing first. Then you want to put your competitors. In this case, we're just going to use one because that's, let's say, the up and comer in the space. And what we're going to want to do is figure out what keywords that person is ranking for better than us. And the way we do that is using the relative rank. I like to put it to minimum 2, which means it's going to show us every single keyword in which we are ranking second in comparison to this guy. So every keyword that they're ranking first and we're ranking second behind them in any sort of order. And if we click apply, you'll see that it'll pull up. We don't even have to use anything else. It'll pull up all the keywords here that have those. So for example, right, yoga mat with alignment marks. If I open that up, let's see, yoga mat with alignment marks. As you can see, that product, so that's not our product, that's our competitor. So our competitor is showing up for alignment lines, which has a 910 search volume every single month. So again, maybe that's a good idea to add alignment marks to ours, because why not? It's not going to hurt us, and we'll be able to start ranking for keywords like this. Obviously, if they're ranking for it, we aren't. And even if we go by like search volume, right? Let's scroll down and look at like something that makes sense here. Exercise, yoga strap, home workout. Look at like a specific keyword, something that like, for example, eco-friendly yoga mat. That's like a very specific, yoga mat has 2,250 searches. Let's open that up. And as you can see, sponsor. As you can see, there's this mat. And if we scroll down, I don't even know if we'll find, okay, that's let's say our product, but it's not even like an organic. This is like Amazon's choice. I'm not even sure if they'll show up. So clearly that shows us that people care about, eco-friendly yoga mats here. And that's probably the keywords that this person is making the sales from that our product isn't. So in my head, as someone who's dominated the market, I start to think, okay, well, I should probably add alignment marks, and I should probably see if I can make my product more eco-friendly. Or if I can't make it eco-friendly, maybe I partner up with an eco-friendly charity or something like that, and I advertise that in my listing on my, with my product. And that way, I kind of take away their angle, their differentiation on Amazon, and I bring it to myself as well. And you can do this for all of the keywords here. You can look at them and figure out all the keywords that your competitor's ranking above you. So hopefully you found some value in that. I haven't seen really many people talking about or anyone talking about the relative rank and doing that kind of stuff. And it's something I've been doing for a little while. Also, I wanted to kind of promote my Facebook group, guys. If you are new to Amazon or you have questions or you just want free help from myself, join the free Facebook group down below. I decided that basically in 2022, I want to first of all put out more content. I want to put out more valuable content to you guys. And also I want to give back and build relationships with you too. So I'm going to be putting much more effort and much more time into my Facebook groups and just here in the comments as well. I'll basically be replying to every single person down below and in the Facebook group. So if you want literally one-on-one help, questions, anything like that, go ahead, join it down there, and I will make sure to answer your questions. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into number 3, the last step I use to really, kind of destroy these copycat sellers, which is actually split testing my images on my listing, especially my main image. One thing is just to continuously spend money on PPC to get more, traffic to your listing. But if your listing isn't converting or people aren't clicking through to your listing, your PPC costs will be super high and, you won't make any money. And just because your listings pictures did well a year ago, well, now maybe there's other people in the market that have better pictures than you, better first images, and you got to test to figure out what those are and how you can improve and continuously improve your listing. It's a fluid thing. It's not a one and done. And the way you do this, and the easiest way to do this is actually using a kind of software service called the PickFu. Probably many of you guys have heard that, but essentially lets you, pin multiple things against each other, and you can ask real people, which one they would rather choose. That could be labels, that could be, main images, that could be a whole bunch of stuff. And not only do they pick, but they also explain why they chose their things. And, this video is not sponsored by PickFu, but more and more I'm starting to see this being one of the biggest, most important things you're going to need to use in 2022. And the reason you want to be using this in terms of copycat sellers is if someone comes into the market, has better pictures than you, well, you need to know right away that those pictures are better, and you need to be able to iterate yours on the fly. You never want to let the copycat sellers get any advantage on you. So if you are interested in using that, here are the tests I would run first. 1, take your main image versus every other main image on the market for all your top competitors, right? Put them in a test and see which one converts better, which one people like more on PickFu. Step 2, take the best image. So if it wasn't you, if it was one of your competitors, take that image, try to mimic it or make it better, and then rerun a test, you versus that one. So let me show you some examples and some tips on how to run your PickFu tests so that you make sure to do them well. So diving into the computer here, if you go to pickfu.com/gallery, you can go to the e-commerce section. Once you click that, I'll show you just stuff about e-com. And I've actually already opened up some things here. You can just click on them and then, for example, I don't even know what this is, but you open it up and you can see different people's answers. So I've opened up some examples here, and you can actually see real data. So you can see other people's tests that they ran to just even learn from them, or just to see kind of how it works. So which packaging design do you prefer? Now they put a bunch of different packaging designs, and as you can see, this one won 56 out of whatever, many people are here. But the best thing about this is if you scroll down, you can see they put an order of what they like most to least, and then also which ones they like the most and why, right? So you can see 4 responses for option B, and then they say why. Then there's 7 responses to option C, and you can figure out exactly why people like what in your products. So same thing with this, right? Based on the overall design of the label, which product would you more likely to buy? And then they have the winner, and then also they explain why here as well. So it's very, very interesting to actually read those things. But when you run these tests, there's a few things you need to watch out for. You need to make sure that you don't make this mistake, all right? So in this situation, you see based on this image, which product would you prefer or would you rather buy? As you can see, most people, almost majority of people, pick this one. And on the first glance, you might think, oh, no, that's awesome. But there are actually too many variables to consider here. You want to make sure when you're running your tests that there's only one variable to test at a time. Now here you can see This one is dark, right? You can't really read it. Second one here, it also is hard to read, but it's also on a black background. And here it's on a white background, and it has kind of like the product or, the formulation there on the side. So you don't know what people like more. And if you, read the comments, this actually reinforces that. You can say, see here it says, I like how C and A looks, like the label style, that's good. I prefer option C because it shows what the product looks like. Cool. Then over here it says, I can't read text on jar at all in the A one and in the B one. And then, I like how C shows me not only the packaging, but also what the powder looks like. So as you can see, there's several factors. So if I was to run this test, one, I'd make sure all the lighting was kind of even and you can read all of them because you don't want that to be a factor. Another thing what I would do is I'd make sure that the backgrounds are all the same. It's okay for them to all be white, or it's okay for them to all be this color. But when you have some, in color and some not, well, that makes it difficult to figure out what exactly people like about this. And another thing, like for example, if you want to test like how well seeing the product actually does, you can run white background, and then white background with the product versus the other two not having the product. Well, then you would know that, okay, if people pick the product, well, people like to see that product. So that's, kind of the way to do this. You need to make sure there aren't this many variables. A really good example was like this one, right? They all have the same design, well, almost the same design. See, even this one has different designs. So that's not a great thing. But this one right here, and this one right here have kind of a similar design. And you can tell for sure, that people don't like this one. They like this one much more, right? Because when you're comparing just a few things like the color, well, now you know this color is better than this color. When you start comparing it like this stuff, it starts to make it very difficult to understand why people like something or not. So keep it to one variable. Also, if you want to use PickFu or even just test it out, click the link in the description. Again, it's not sponsored or anything. I just reached out to them, said, hey, I want to promote your product, and I think it's a really awesome product. Can you give me a discount for my subscribers? And so that's how we got it. I do get a kind of small, like tiny commission on this stuff, but again, you get 50% off, so it's kind of a win-win. Go ahead and check that out if you want to just try out your first poll. And if you want to see more videos like this, kind of thinking outside the box and showing you some little bit more advanced level tips, hopefully I've done in this video, hit the subscribe button and like the video so that you don't miss any more videos from me in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.